Do you think I could have my seat back? Please? Thanks. This is gonna be tough. Can we at least share it? Can I scooch on next to you? Would that be okay? Maybe? Oh well. Hi, hello and welcome back. If you are new around here, then hello, it is nice to meet you, and if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana, and I'm a 30-something lady from Scotland who usually likes to talk a lot about makeup, beauty, skincare, lifestyle, fashion, bullshit, but also with a liberal sprinkling of sarcasm and reality thrown in on top. I am a full-time nurse here in the UK and I work for the NHS, so actually a lot of the time I like to speak about health things as well. I also like to speak about, and I am going to try and move forward in this year, because I think this will be my first kind of video other than that one about a massive thing happening in my life at the moment. That I'll be putting up this year, and this year I would like to move into chatting about kind of the culture here on YouTube. A little bit like Smokey Glow does, but not to that extreme, because she is amazing and likes to talk about all these things and thoroughly researches these things. I'm not going to go into that, but I like to throw in my tuppence every now and again about matters with regards to marketing, with regards to branding, influencer culture and influencer marketing. So if that sounds like your kind of thing and you don't mind somebody who likes to have the odd sweary word thrown in, because I do like saying fuck, shite or bugger quite routinely, then this might be the place for you. If not, then please feel free to skedaddle, that is okay as well. But if you're sticking about, there's a subscription button down there, because you know, that's what every YouTuber says, and you know, it's apparently supposed to help you. So this is going to be a products I regretted buying video. I have done these before. I'm going to stick up the one from, I think it was last year I stuck one up. I'm going to stick it up there, because in the grand scheme of a lot of bits of beauty stuff that I buy or skincare things that I purchase, there is the odd one or two things that I just think, I wish I hadn't bothered with that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then please keep on watching. So if you've been here before, you will know, grab yourself a tea, a coffee, a cuppa, whatever the fuck you like, a beer, a whiskey, a vodka, a wine, knock yourself out. Because this is the first video I'm putting up where it has become common knowledge that I am now pregnant, just to let everybody know, anything you've seen me drinking in the last 6 months has either been decaffeinated or alcohol free. Like we went to London. If you follow me over on Instagram, you may be seeing some photos from down in London, and I was holding the odd cocktail. It was a mocktail, just so everybody knows. But I'm actually able to tell you now, I have a decaf coffee today because I just like the taste of coffee. It's not a habit for me. It's not like I need it to get up and go. I just really like the taste of coffee. I also have a little Skinny Whip bar today. Not skinny because I'm trying to lose weight, certainly not, certainly not at the moment, but because I like the taste of these, and they're not too high in carbs and not too high in sugar. And I do have a really sweet tooth. Alright, so let's hop into it. I have wrote down a list of things. Now, because these are things that I didn't enjoy, some of them I might not still have to hand, some I've passed on to other people that I think would enjoy the product more, and other things I have sold because I was like, well, actually I would rather somebody else got some, this had a better home to go to, and somebody else was getting the use out of it, and it was fucking expensive, so I've sold it on. If you do have anything that you think, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing what you're selling, I usually do it on Vinted. I'll link it below if you're interested. Generally, Vinted won't let you put up anything that's already been used though, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. So sometimes I put things on Instagram as well. Even if it's something like you've just swatched it and you don't like the colour of it, even if it's a foundation, you've swatched it and you've thought, that's never going to suit me, they don't let you sell it. So it's usually things that came into my possession that I know I either don't need or I'm not going to wear that I sell over in Vinted. But if not, keep your eye out on Instagram, because I kind of do it there too. And a lot of the time I will just give away things to get home because I don't need them all. And I should say as well, as a bit of a kind of starting off point here, if any of the stuff I'm talking about today is your favourite thing, if it's your holy grail, if you love it, you've bought it several times, please do not be offended. It just hasn't worked for me, and I prefer to see videos like this where people are being honest and being like, I didn't like this, rather than just never talking about it again, because then you don't really know. Yeah, they bought it, but did they use it? You don't know. or people who just never talk about the stuff that hasn't worked for them. I much prefer watching something like this. And I was very, very kindly given this, I want to say, because it wasn't from a brand or anything. Basically my friend Syra, she lives very close by to me, dropped this on my doorstep one day, and it is this beautiful, let me get it out of the box. I've kept it in the box. This beautiful powder, and comes with a little brush that I've not even taken out of the packet. And this is the translucent loose setting powder, but this is the glow version here. Now I thought, I'm not a powder girl, I don't like stuff like that, and me and Syra had been speaking and she was like, there's a lovely radiance to this powder. It is a loose powder, so you can see on the top there, it's got one of those little sieves. And I thought, oh, a glowy powder, that sounds much more, if it's going to give me a radiance to my skin, that sounds much more up my street. But again, for me, it was just like putting powder on my face, and it's not really something I'm into. Also, I found, because of the glow version of this, it has a slight golden yellow tint, and on my skin, especially if my skin is fair, and I find I would be wearing powder more probably at this end of the year where it's winter and things. I don't tend to wear powder in the summer. I just don't, which seems a bit fucking stupid, because if you're sweating, people would be like, why would you not put powder on? But I just don't. I don't reach for it in the summer, ever. Whereas in the winter months, I want my skin to look a little bit more that poreless way, a little bit more like the flawless kind of look to it. I don't know why, I just feel more matte in the winter and more dewy in the summer. And for me, this just made me feel still very, very cakey, still very much like I had powder on it. And this gets raved about. Not just the glow version, like the original, this gets raved about. People love it, love it, love it, love it. But I'm not a powder girl, and because it's got the glow aspect to it, it just looked a little yellow on my skin. I think, weirdly, if I did wear it in the summer, it would suit my skin tone better, because in the summer I might have a bit of a tan that actually the golden glow would go with. I think if you were to run this down like your legs in the summer, if you were wearing something nice and your legs were out, this would give your legs beautiful radiance and shine, and you just look like you have perfect legs and skin. I don't have perfect legs and skin anyway. There's a lot of stuff going on there. They're very hairy for a start. And I'll tell you something, see, since I've been pregnant, shaving my legs has become very low on my list of priorities. Never mind trying to shave anywhere else, because that area I can barely see at this point, 6 months on. So I am going to have to speak to somebody about getting that dealt with before I have to go to the hospital. TMI, I know, you love it. But it is something that I think if you wanted to put a nice, like, something across your décolletage, shoulder blades, shoulder bones, along the legs, it would look really nice, but on my face it is just too golden. And interestingly enough, the next product that I'm going to speak about, I'm going to put a photo here, is one that the brand actually reached out to me on Instagram. So this is the Saie, I can't say it right, it's S-A-I-E. And this is their cream slash tube highlighter. Now, I didn't speak about this here on the channel. I'm pretty sure I never ever like brought it onto the channel or spoke about it. But I picked this up, I want to say October-ish, maybe last year. And I bought it along with a few other bits from Cult Beauty when Vive were releasing their Muse lipstick. I picked it up with that and a few other things. Now, I had seen so many people within the Instagram community for beauty talking about this stuff, talking about this brand actually, and saying how wonderful it was. And actually since then, I've started to notice that a lot of people have received free products from this brand as well, which I think makes the next part quite interesting. So this cream tube highlighter, I picked it up in like a kind of rosy glow, and it was nice, it was okay. Basically the tube itself is like metal, it was like a hard tube, it wasn't a plastic tube, and I don't have any tubes here so that I can show you what I mean. But it was like you know, a metal tube, like you would roll it up and it wouldn't roll back down. It's not like a plastic toothpaste tube, it was like an old school metal style one. So the first thing is, I think the important thing to remember when you're using this is you need to heat it in your hands. Like just the tube, to heat it up a little bit to actually get some product out. Because when I was using it and I was kind of trialing it first impressions on my stories on Instagram, I was like, Jesus, like this is really tough to get out. I can't get it out. But I didn't say that that was a problem for this product. I just said it's quite stiff, you'll maybe need to heat it up. I also did say as well, like it was a little bit like one of these things you would heat on your hands, a little bit like the Denesamyrex, for instance, the Dew Wet Balm. Like you would rub your fingers in that when you first get it, heat it up a little and then pop it on the tops of the cheeks. So for things like this, it was similar. It was like a more solid product, but still a cream, but not a liquid cream like the Vive one, for instance. So you need to heat it on the hands, pop it on the tops of the cheeks. I did explain all that when I was talking about this product, but what I said was I didn't think it was as good as the likes of my Denesamyrex Dew Wet Balm. I felt there was other brands out there and other products out there that were doing a better version of this product. And Sai actually reached out to me and this was the conversation. Very polite, and they let me know as well that the reason the tube is not a plastic tube and it's a metal tube is for recycling reasons, which I think is great. But they then went on to explain to me how to use the product, which I think they probably thought they were being helpful with, but I did find this a little condescending. Given that I had done all these steps in my stories, I thought, did you actually watch it? Did you just like because I said I didn't think it was as good? I know people, friends, close friends via Instagram who love this product, who swear by this product and think it's brilliant. I just don't think it's as good as other products that I've used, and I don't think that's wrong of me to say that. And I found it interesting then that people were being sent products from Sai who were saying how brilliant they were. It just goes to show. I think, not that I'm expecting anybody to send me anything, but I thought it was a little bit like, oh well, sorry this product's not working for you. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's not that the product's not working. I know how to use it. I have used it appropriately in the description you have exactly gave me. But I just didn't like it as much as other ones, and I'm entitled to say that. So I thought that was quite interesting. Anyway, moving on. Now we're going to get through the next ones quite snappy because I feel like that was a whole conversation about one product there. This is the Maybelline Hyper Easy Brush Tip Liner Point Ultra Flexible, and it's just in black, I believe. Pitch black, sorry. So I bought this last year at some point. I can't even really remember when I bought it. It's like, it's a hexagonal shaped pencil, and then it just has one of these kind of fiber tips to it, but it's a brush. So I thought this would be quite similar to that of the Kat Von D one that everybody speaks about, because it was a brush tip liner. But what I have to say is this is dry. It's super dry, even the first time I used it. Now on the back of my hand there, you might be thinking that looks fine, but I found when I used this, and I'm sure I put a video up with it, if I can find it I'll link it here. And when I used it, I pulled it across the eye and it needed a good few coats before the actual liquid liner was there. As I say here, it looks fine. And I went quite firmly on the back of my hand there to get that line. It looks great. But on your eye, you are going to be a little bit more delicate, aren't you? So I found it took a few times to go over to get this to be opaque. So for that reason, I wouldn't pick up this again. Maybe people who have used the Kat Von D and things like that will tell me like that is just the best of the best. That's the only one you can get. But what I will say is that Revolution do this one, at least they used to. I don't know if it's still in their arsenal. But this is the... oh god, it's not even got a name on it. I don't know. It's like this rose golden one, and it's actually a felt tip liner. It's not a brush tip, and I find this one is much better. Actually, I'll just show you here. This one is like liquidy. Can you see the shine on it there? It's liquidy. It's very wet. Again, some people might not love that, but I feel like it's one swipe and I'm done. Much easier. And this one here from L'Oreal, this is their matte signature eyeliner. And I have this in the black. This is just original. Yeah, black signature. And I also have it in emerald, which is really nice. And these are really nice liquid liners, but obviously this one is a bit more like the old school, like you dip it in and then put it across the eyelid. But personally, as far as liquid eyeliners go with those two, leave the Maybelline one. Alright, moving on, I have a couple of things from Vive, which might be quite difficult to believe from me because the majority of the products that they've released, I have really enjoyed. Oh, we now have a new friend. She's back behind me. Oh, you come and say hello? Here's your Pebbles. You saying hello? Look, up there. Oh, hello. Hello, darling. She's so good. Where was I? Vive, yeah. Majority of things I really like. Actually, today I am wearing this product on my eyes. The problem I have with this product, it's one of their eye wands. Again, I picked this up when these launched because I love an eye wand. You know, it's something I speak about all the time. I love having them as a base for eyeshadow. I love having them as a one and done step in your everyday makeup routine. So of course I wanted to try this from Vive when it launched, but unfortunately I got this colour Mahogany, which is not the darkest one. I think the darkest one is the black one she does. I can't remember the name of it. And that is it there on my hand. It's very, very opaque, very, very nice, very smooth going on. Here is my issue. With the majority of eye pencils I have used in the past, I smoosh them onto the eye, I then go over with a little brush, and whether I go in with shadow or not, they are very easily blended out. This is not. And I don't know if it's just this colour or the darker colours. As I say, I have got it on today as a little bit of a winged liner and feathered it out. But all over the lid, this did not work for me. And I have tried it over and over. I think I'm just like, am I doing something wrong here? I don't know. This is one of these ones where I was like, I don't need your input on this, thanks, I just don't like it. This is one where I'm like, Vive, can you reach out to me and let me know? Am I doing something wrong with this? I have obviously seen the wonderful Jamie Genevieve talk about it over on Instagram, do looks with it on Instagram and YouTube. Not necessarily this colour, but particularly like Sand. I've seen her use that one a lot as a base. I've seen friends of mine use that one a lot as a base, and they just smoosh it on and out the door they go. But because this is darker, I find it to be patchy. I find that once it's on there, it's got staying power, which is a good thing, I suppose, because it doesn't budge. But for a product like this, I want to be able to blend it. I find if I do use this on the eyelid, I have to put it on, do one eye, and then go into the next eye. I couldn't possibly put the product on both eyes and then start to blend this eye, because then I would never ever get this one to move. So I think from a staying power point of view, it's very, very good. But given the price of them and given the amount that is out there on the market of similar of these types of products, be it from Kiko, be it from Laura Mercier, Beauty Pie, Elf does them as well. If it's from any of these other brands, there is much, much more affordable ones that do a much better job, I feel, especially than the dark ones. I can't comment on the light ones, but it was enough to put me off ever trying any of the other eye ones. And I know they've just released some shimmery ones, but I'm going to be honest with you, at this point in my life, I'm like, I probably don't need any. I don't think any of the colours were particularly wow or different or something I really need in my collection. But I have seen people speak about the sparkly kind of shimmer toned ones, and I think they look like they blend better than the mattes, but I just didn't enjoy it. The other thing I'm going to talk about from Vive, and it's not so much that I think it is a bad product, I personally just regret buying it, and that is their Nova Glow Skin Highlighter. That is the powder version of their highlighter. Now, you know I love the Skin Dew, and I think they've got like a primer now, like a dewy primer as well. I think my friend Audrey had picked that up. I'd seen her speaking about that on Instagram. But I'm talking about the original one, the one that comes in the same kind of style packaging as the blush. It's a square, it's got the V embossed in the middle. Now there are 3 colours of this, if I remember rightly. Bijou, something, I can't remember. Basically, I picked this up in the middle colour because Bijou, which I think is the lightest one, wasn't available. The lightest colour wasn't available, and I bought a lot of the things when they launched because I knew I was going to be interested in this brand. So I picked up the second one because when I read the description I thought I'll probably still be able to wear that. Unfortunately not. It was just, again, a little bit like the Laura Mercier powder, just too golden for my skin and a little too frosty, a little too like that sparkle shimmer. I love a nice glowy highlighter. I adore it. I love a dewy highlighter. And even with the likes of my Kaleidos ones that are really holographic, multi-chrome, out of this world type of highlighters for a bit of fun, I love them. But the Vive ones just reminded me of highlighters from years gone by, from maybe like 2016, when highlighting became a big thing, like contour and highlight, that was the thing. And people were walking about like literal spacemen. So if you watch Teresa's Dead, you know, an alien slut, as Teresa would say. But I feel like back then, whether it was the unicorn ones, whether it was like a blue highlighter, a pink highlighter, a yellow highlighter, a gold and orange, there was all these colours. It was just a trend at the time where people wanted highlighters to be really bam. And the Vive one isn't that, certainly. They're not got lots of colours, but the texture of it and the finish of it reminded me of that style of highlighter, which was never something I was terribly interested in. So for that reason, I regretted buying it, and I did pass that on to Cara C. I sent it over to Canada for her to try because she has a deeper skin tone than me, and she loved it. She really, really enjoyed it. Just personally, it was a regret for me. And then when I went into the pop-up store at the end of October, I did see them in person, and I thought I wouldn't even have liked the lighter one anyway. So I'm really glad actually I've passed it on and somebody else is getting use out of it, because it just wasn't my cup of tea. Alright, moving on to Charlotte Tilbury. Now, a lot of things I've tried from Charlotte Tilbury, again, I really, really enjoyed, and I think I was pleasantly surprised. I think when I purchased Charlotte Tilbury last year, I thought, I am going to annihilate this brand. I'm going to talk about how shit they are and how they're not worth the money. It's just all fancy packaging. But actually, there was quite a lot of things that I really enjoyed. But there was the odd one or two that I thought, I don't get the hype. And Charlotte Tilbury is a really ordinary brand. They're not doing any mad neon colours, any mad kind of psychedelic multi-chromes. They're not doing anything like that. It's a very classic glamour kind of brand. I understand that. But there were two things last year that I thought, I will never buy that again, or I will never buy from that range of things again. And secondly, one was a sample that I got to try, and I thought I would never buy that product full size. So the first one is this, and this is their lipstick. I'm gonna put up the kind of lipstick here and a photo, because I know she does a million different styles of lipstick. So if this one is still available, I will link it and let you know. And this one, it is a matte one, and it is in So 90s. It's a beautiful colour. Look at it. What, can I put it on my hand here? It's like this kind of almost a warm brown colour, but not, I feel like my Vive one is almost like a chocolate brown, like a chocolate orange. This one is a little bit more of a plum brown. I think it's got a little bit more of a red purpley undertone to it, and I thought this is just beautiful. So, so nice. The problem with this is it's patchy. It's so fucking patchy, and I still use it because I really like the colour. I make it work, I put it on, I layer it with a few other things, and I put it on with lip liner and what have you, and it's fine. But for the price and for the hype around Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, I have to say I was very, very disappointed with this. And almost patchy as soon as you put it on. You know that way where you used to use a liquid lipstick, and you put it on and then you'd go and it would be like patchiness between the two lips because it was peeling off on top of. It's like that, and it's a bullet lipstick. I wouldn't say that it's overly drying on the lips. I don't find that to be a problem. It just isn't opaque enough. It just isn't like coloured or dark enough to actually, and I don't have high pigmented lips. It just doesn't cover my lips properly, and for such a deep and dark colour, you would think it should. So that is one there. But the second thing from Charlotte Tilbury is her magic cream. Now, as I say, I did only get a sample size of this, and you can't really pass judgment on something that is a skincare item when you've only used it 2 or 3 times. But for me, as someone who normally has very dry skin, I thought this sounded right up my street. And again, I had seen several people that I know talk about the magic cream on Instagram, talking about how amazing it was. Even a work colleague was telling me how amazing it was because it's just the brilliant base, and it was just a brilliant like dewy finish, and it was like so moisturizing, so hydrating, bouncy, left the skin gorgeous. When I tried this, I tried it on during the day at first because I was like, okay, fine, let's give this a go, this magic cream that everybody talks about. And it was so heavy. I love a thick and heavy moisturizer, but this was like, stuff was slipping about on top of it. And I had a sample, remember, a sample. So it's not like I scooped out half a tub and shoved it on my face. It was more like a mask than it was a cream that would sink into your skin. And because of that, I thought, maybe this is supposed to be a nighttime cream. Maybe I'm not supposed to be using it during the day. I wonder. So I decided I would use it as a night cream as well and see how I got on with that. Now that was fine because obviously I go to my bed at night, I wake up in the morning. But in the morning, I expect that cream to have soaked into the skin and my skin to feel plump and dewy. I did not feel that. I felt like I could have run my nail across my cheek and that cream would have still been on my face like a face mask. That is how I felt. So for me, the Magic Cream, which is extraordinarily priced, is really just a waste of time. I did not enjoy it, I do not like it, and I will never purchase it full size. Shall we talk about Fenty? I think I've mentioned this before a million times, so I'm not going to focus on it too much. The bronzer, I was so disappointed with this bronzer. And the funny thing is that I've seen recently, in recent months, maybe just before Christmas, Michaela McDade talking about this bronzer and how much she loves it. So I think this one is purely down to what you like. And I mean, I watched her apply it. I don't think we particularly applied it in any different ways. But I just felt like when I was putting it on my skin and I got the same colour as her, it just didn't do anything. It just wasn't really much of anything, and it was a little too yellow toned for my face. But the one after that colour would be Macchiato, which was so dark, and the one before that colour, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like greyish. It was like a really cool toned one. So until they kind of release a wider range in those bronzers, I still will just think, no, I will never buy them. I did not like them. And I think there are other ones on the market, like Danessa Myricks for instance, that just have a much better payoff. They blend nicer, they look like natural tan on your face, and they're still a cream product. So for me, it's a no for that. As well as the Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. Now I have recently started using, I think I already mentioned it in this video, the foundation, the Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation, and I'm really enjoying it. But the primer, no. I didn't need it, didn't like it, passed it on to a friend. I actually passed it on to Charisse. I'll put her channel up in the corner here because I fucking love her, I think she's great. But for me, I just thought, this is not hydrating. Not for a dry skin baby like me. She has slightly more oily skin than I do, Charisse, so I passed it on to her because she still likes that dewy look, but she has more oily skin than I do. So I think for someone of that skin type, it might work really well. But for me, who has more kind of dry to normal skin or normal to dry skin, I just didn't think it done anything. Next up is the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I got a mini of this last year, maybe the year before, it might have been 2020, and I loved the miniature, so I bought the full size, and needless to say, I did not enjoy it. It was not nice, and I passed it on to someone. But I am also going to talk about this here. It's the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Brow Pencil, and this one is in Universal Taupe. I think I got the two of them together in a set actually, the mascara and this. It's got a spoolie on one end and then the liner on the other side, or liner, eyebrow, crayon on the other side. This for me, I felt like, even if I'm doing it on the back of my hand there, nothing is coming off. It was like I really had to dig to get some colour, and I'm really going hard there. I had to dig to get some colour on that. And for me, I don't want to be scraping at my eyebrows. That's not my kind of thing. I just can't be bothered. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I think there are much nicer options out there. No, it wasn't my cup of tea. Next up is this mascara from e.l.f. I picked this up last year just because, as I say, I do have favourite mascaras that I always go back to, but then I like to buy ones in between that because I like to try out other things. And I love a drugstore mascara. I love mascaras that are cheap and cheerful and do a good job. This, however, the wand is one of these rubber wands. That doesn't totally put me off. Some of my favourite mascaras have rubber wands. Roller Lash from Benefit I really always enjoyed. It has a rubber wand. The new one from Lancome, the Lashy doll that I've been talking about a lot, that has a rubber wand. Great. This is a weapon. This is not nice. This is sore. It's so spiky and so, I don't know, sharp. It's so sharp that when you're putting it on and you're trying to get right into the base of the lash there, I nearly took my fucking eyeball out and I was just like, no thank you. This is the Lash It Loud mascara. I don't know if I said that already. And I just got it in black. But personally, the actual tool itself is just such a I felt like I was assaulted by it. It just meant that I didn't reach for it very often. It's still very, very good. It's been opened, you know, maybe 4 times. I've tried it over a few times, and I probably will pass this on to someone else, a friend or something, because to be honest with you, it's not necessarily a bad product. I don't know if it's just I'm using it wrong. I didn't enjoy the look that it gave my lashes. I didn't think that it done very much difference, if I'm honest with you, but I would hate to think that I've only used it 4 times and I've not passed it on, you know, I'm going to throw it in the bin. But the wand itself is honestly like an assault weapon, so for me, this is a no. I'm also going to talk about the XX Revolution palettes. I am going to put them here. I believe they are still on sale at Boots. When I picked mine up, I got them on a really, really good offer. So I think they usually retail at £10 each for a quad. So they are quite expensive for the drugstore, but I think they look fun. I thought they looked great. I thought it looked really interesting. I bought 3 of them because I got them on a deal, so I ended up paying something like £4 each for them. And they are still on sale, and I have no idea why, because I am going to put a video up in the corner here where you can see me fail miserably at using 2 of them. I bought one in purple, one in blue and one in green, and I think the purple and the blue are the ones that I tried out in that video, and it was just a nightmare. It was awful. The finished look in the end was okay, but it was just took so much work and so much faff that I could not be bothered with it. The green one, again, it looks really nice, but I would not pay £10 for these. Even if you're somebody who's just getting into makeup, even if you're somebody who's like, I love the colours, blah blah blah. No, just I wouldn't bother. Don't do it. Just buy something that's nicer. Go to like Kaleidos or Lethal Cosmetics or a smaller brand like that where you can get really beautiful colours in slightly bigger palettes for a nicer price. Just do that. Next up are these. These are from Be Perfect, and it is their Supreme Velvet, and these are pretty much liquid lips. I do not use them as liquid lips. I have the colours Clairvoyant, that is this one here, this lovely kind of lavender purple colour, and this one here, which is, oh god, see, this is where I need my glasses again. Nuclear, that's what it says. I was like that there, what does that say? Nuclear, which again looks phenomenal, looks so interesting. What I'm going to say is, as an eyeshadow base, these work fine. They work okay. I used it in that way, especially the purple one I've used that way, and I think they look quite nice. But as liquid lipsticks, these are rotten. These are so bad. They are so dry. They do that thing like I've just explained with the old school liquid lipsticks where you put them on, you put your lips together, and then it's like they just start patching everywhere. They don't totally, like, when they dry down, you got a bit raisin mouth going on. It's not very nice. Yeah, I wouldn't buy these as a liquid lip. I just wouldn't. If you're somebody who is an aspiring makeup artist or what have you, and you want some exciting colours to do some jobs, maybe you could use these as your base for your eyeshadow and stuff. I think for that reason they are quite interesting, but as liquid lips go, I wouldn't purchase any more, and I certainly won't be putting these on my lips ever again. And lastly, this one, well, in the makeup bit, there's a couple of skincare bits. This might come as a bit of a shock to some people. This is the Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm, but this is one of the coloured ones. This is in Holy Water. This is in the kind of rosy pink colour. And this one here is my clear one. So I will show you them side by side so you can see the difference. So you can see that they're clearly, this one you're just seeing the silver at the bottom of the pan. That's it there. This one obviously has some pigment to it, it obviously has some colour to it. The problem I have, and the reason I'm saying I regret purchasing this one, is because this does not have the same texture as the clear. I love this stuff. I love it so much, but unfortunately I found this colour here, and I don't know if it's the same for all of the coloured ones, is stiff. It takes a lot of work to get it onto the fingers. This one here, once you've kind of warmed up this palette, it's very easy to then just tap it on the cheeks and there's no issues. This one is just a different texture. And although like I'm here, I'm heating it up, it's getting on my hands, it'll be lovely. I could pop it on the cheeks and it probably will look all right. It's just a little like, I don't know how to say it. It's just, it leaves a funny look on the tops of my cheeks. What I have been doing is going into the pink one, then going into the clear one and putting that on, and it's very, very nice, but that's a whole faff that you don't want to have to worry about. And I've put the pink kind of all over here now, and it's a beautiful sheen. Like, it's so nice. The pink is a gorgeous, gorgeous sheen on the top of the cheeks. I think maybe even if you used it in such a way that you had some on your hand and then you put it all over as like a nice base before you went in with some other products, then it would leave this beautiful pink glow to the skin. So I don't hate it. I'm not saying it's a terrible product, but what I would say is, if you're gonna pick one up, I would just get the clear and mix in some colours with the clear. I won't ever buy any of the coloured ones again. I will only pick up the clear. And as I said, I've got two skincare products here. One is from Glossier. Again, this might shock some people because I do love me some Glossier. But this is the Super Glow Vitamin C Serum. What can I say? Vitamin C and Magnesium Serum. It's here. I have used up the other two serums that came as part of the parcel. 3 of them all came at once. It has taken me an age to get through this one. I think this is a very personal regret for me because I'm just someone who doesn't know where to slot vitamin C in. It's not that I don't know where to slot it in, it just doesn't fit into my skincare routine. I've been using it up a little bit more since I've been pregnant because I've not necessarily been using some other stuff. I haven't been using acids as much. I haven't been using retinol, obviously, throughout my pregnancy. And for that reason, it means that there are other things that I'm looking for a little bit of radiance from. But overall, vitamin C is still one of these things that I struggle to think, where am I putting that into my skincare routine? So once I have used up this one, I will not pick it up again. I have mentioned that I would be kind of interested in trying out the Kiehl's one again. When I picked that up, I really enjoyed it. It was such a nice vitamin C that it made me want to use it. I wanted to slot it into my skincare. And maybe even because I'm not using retinol at night at the moment, I'm really just using night. If you want a new skincare video to find out what I'm doing, comment below and let me know as a pregnant person. I'm using niacinamide at night now. I am not, as I say, using acids and things so much. So the radiance aspect at night, I can kind of slot this in there, or just after my kind of hyaluronic acid in the morning, I split it in there as well. But it's just, I won't pick this up again. But I don't know why I'm over complicating it. I just won't pick this up again. I might try the Kiehl's, but I think once I can go back to my normal routine, then will I like the Kiehl's as much? I don't know. Leave me with that. And lastly, this from Neogen. This is their Vita Duo cream with the Joan Day and Joan Night cream. This was a collaboration that they done with Joan Kim, was it? I can't remember Joan's second name. And it was basically a collaboration with a YouTuber that they done, and she does like a day cream and a night cream, and this happens to be the one with the 2 sides. I'll just peel the lid off so you can see. There we go. So one side is your night cream and one side is your day cream. I'm not saying either side is bad, but what I'm saying is I bought this way back in the year and I have not been urged to want to use it. I've just not reached for it. I think part of it is because of this kind of packaging. It's not the only time this has happened to me. Because I do my nighttime skincare kind of like, I do my nighttime skincare in stages normally. It means that by the time I'm ready to put on a moisturiser at night, it's probably by my bedside or in my bed before I go to sleep. Whereas my daytime routine, I am very much by the sink and then at my vanity, and that's where it stops. So I find that sometimes I'm not reaching for this, and then if I left it by the bedside, it wouldn't be there during the daytime to use it by the vanity. It's like one of these things where I would be like, I'm not swapping it every single day to do it. I know, first world problems, right? But that was an issue for me. But also I found that the day cream is very thick and heavy. Again, as a dry skin person, that is not terrible, but I found it funny that that was the day cream and the night cream is more like a gel. The night cream also smells like lavender, so obviously meant to make you go to sleep. But I found like the gel would surely be the one I would want in the daytime because it's a bit lighter. If you're going to put anything else on, like your SPF or your makeup on top of that, it's lighter. Whereas the night cream is very gel-like and the day cream is very heavy. I feel like the two should be swapped about. So personally, I will not pick up this again. It's not that the products are bad, it just didn't work for me. I just found it was a bit of a faff being in the same tub as well, and that's me just being picky, but it's the truth. So, oh, that coffee was freezing because I've blabbered on for long enough. I hope that was useful to you. Let me know if you've used any of these products, if you've tried anything that I've spoke about. Are you someone that any of these are loves and favourites? Are you telling me that I'm using any of them in the wrong way? Because I would like to know that, but also please keep in mind I'm not someone that tries something once and then just puts it in the bin and thinks that's not for me. Generally I try things in different ways because I like to know, am I using this the wrong way? Does it need to be applied this way? I like to give things second, third, fourth chances. And personally, these just didn't work for me. What are the things that don't work for you? Tell me down below what are things that you absolutely hate. They can be the things I love, I do not mind. Let me know what you think, and I hope you're all enjoying the new year, having a great time, and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.